I have arrived. And you've showed up. I appreciate you being here in the audience. I'm glad you're here. I really am. What did you have for breakfast today? Scrambled eggs? Good. Let's talk about this. I made a video based on a comment that a viewer had left. I made a video asking, is there any truth to people who have larger noses naturally making more money? Is there a relation there? Because stereotypes do exist here in the United States about Jewish people who we have this secret, undeniable respect for. But when we think of positive traits about Jewish people, we think of builders of our nation and people who still maintain a lot of the structure of our country. What would we do without Jewish people in America, without Jewish Americans? There's so much respect we have collectively for Jewish Americans. And can I say it? That when we think of Jewish people, we think of a certain nose. A nose that is not small. And granted, there is Jewish DNA in me, and you may not see me as someone who has a big nose, but believe it or not, I've been told my whole life that I have a prominent nose, a pointed nose, a nose that sticks out. And I happen to have that Jewish, not a whole lot, but it's in there. It's undeniable, it's part of me. So I looked at the comments on that last video I made, and someone I think really had pointed out that, no pun intended when I said pointed out just now, but ultimately I think here's the answer to that. When you look at, let's just say WASP culture, when you're looking at white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant, that for so long at least was the majority of the United States, having a general look that they had, a foreigner comes in who is able to come from a different country and be financially independent and successful, as Jewish Americans often were. There were definitely the exceptions to the rule. I put a 10-minute video talking about why are there no Jewish janitors. You know, there's a reason for that. It's not a coincidence. And if you would like to know the answer, watch that 10-minute video. But I think here's the concept. If people from another country, another culture and background moved here to the United States and were financially independent and successful, and they looked different than us, and maybe they were of some kind of Middle Eastern background, maybe in general they had larger noses than the Anglo-Saxons. I can't know the answer to that, but I'm telling you a perception. So I can understand why people would believe here in America that, okay, yeah, people with bigger noses, you know, yeah, that they have this way to sniff out money. And I think that's really what it comes down to, this concept of sniffing out money. As I've said many times before, why is it so often that Jewish people are financially successful? It's just magic, or God blesses them and they have the Midas touch? Is that what it is? And keep in mind that my English major, my final paper I wrote in college, and I chose this topic, was why were Jewish people so often despised or ostracized from society and kicked out from one place to another? And one of the things I pointed out, that there was this disdain for people who could be such outsiders but still be financially successful, because they had to be. They had to be creative in their businesses that they ran so that they could avoid discrimination and also be able to be kicked out of one country, escape whatever we're going to do, and pick up and leave up from that same thing. In other words, very much present was the concept of trade. A father passes a trade on to his son, and so on. So it didn't matter exactly what it is. You know, you could be a jeweler, you know, you'd have a jewelry store, and that could be your thing. You know, here in America, often, and you'll see this in our movies and TVs all the time, you'll see that you want to find Dr. Abrahamowitz or whatever, I don't even know how to pronounce it, Weinstein, whatever these Jewish names are, you'll see doctor in front of it. Or you'll see that they're an attorney, or you'll see that they're running some kind of company. It's not a coincidence. It's that I think Jewish people it's not I think, I know. I wrote a paper on it. I researched it. I know for a fact that for Jewish people, as part of their culture, it was very much a part of their identity. You figure out what you're good at, or you find something you're good at, and you pass that teaching along to your sons. Maybe they don't carry on that tradition and that trade, but the concept is there. You need to figure out what you're good at and make a good living out of that and be financially independent, which is very much a big part of my identity as a husband and father. Our family culture, we're very big on being financially independent. And by the way, in case you don't know this YouTube channel is one of 5 side hustles that I do. I have a full-time job that pays great, very respectable job, but I run 2 YouTube channels. This is the second one, the smaller one. My first YouTube channel, Nick Shell, is my name. Got that one. I put Amazon links in my videos, in my blog post, which is number 4 blog post. And then also I get paid by people who want to promote their own articles on my blog. So because of my blog, I'm also able to do the Amazon links in there to get money, guest posts, and then my 2 YouTube channels with the Amazon links. So all of that together. And see, what am I telling you right now? You can imagine, for my own son, I'm going to do my best to interest him in these things, to say, hey, you interested in making money from SEO? Because that's what I'm doing, and that's just on the side. So that's my answer, that's my response, my own follow-up to this concept that people with large noses make more money. Well, it's not that simple, but I think there's definitely truth behind it. What do you believe is reality? The comment.